I was stirring pasta sauce when my phone vibrated with the kind of casual arrogance only a coward could possess. I'm leaving you and moving to Miami with my 20-year-old babe. I've already emptied our joint account, haha. Just like that. 15 years dismantled by a man who used laughter as punctuation. I stared at the message a full 3 seconds. Long enough for the heat in my chest to condense into something sharp. I typed back 2 words. Good luck. Not shock. Not fury. Just acknowledgement. Because he had no idea that by the time he pressed send, his downfall had already begun months earlier. I met Ethan when I still believed in soft things. Promises, shared futures, eyes that didn't lie. He had that crooked grin that made you want to lean in. I mistook charisma for character. A rookie mistake in love. In those early years, he made me feel chosen. Needed. He'd lace his fingers through mine like he was anchoring himself to something stable. Funny how anchors eventually drag you under. It started subtly. Work trips that stretched longer. Smells on his shirts that didn't belong to me. A kind of restlessness in his silence. Then he began guarding his phone like it was a wounded animal. I wasn't the jealous type. He always liked that about me. But I wasn't naive either. One night he fell asleep on the couch. Phone loose in hand. A message flashed across the screen. Can't wait for Miami. Counting the days. Another. She has no idea, face with tears of joy. My heart didn't break. Crystallized. I learned everything in one cruel sweep of his notifications. Her name, their hotel reservations, his plans to start fresh, and their countdown to freedom. He thought I'd crumble. Instead, I began drafting the architecture of his ruin. Revenge isn't rage. Revenge is math. I said nothing. Not a single accusation. Silence, I learned, is the most underestimated weapon. Instead, I documented everything. Screenshots, receipts, his secret accounts, his shady transfers. While he spent nights working late, I spent mine with lawyers. While he Googled beachfront condos, I reorganized our finances. He thought emptying our joint account would leave me stranded. But what he didn't know, what he literally could not comprehend, was that our real money wasn't in the joint account. Because months earlier, after noticing the first cracks, I quietly opened a trust in my name alone, routing my income and shifting assets with the help of a lawyer who enjoyed precision as much as I did. The joint account he drained? It had less in it than the cash hiding in my kitchen drawer. He thought he'd pulled the last thread. He didn't notice the whole tapestry had already been rewoven without him. The divorce papers were ready before he ever sent that childish text. I'd hired a forensic accountant who loved puzzles. Turns out Ethan had been using marital funds on his little Miami endeavor. Good. Adultery with dissipation of assets. Judges love that phrase. While he was playing sugar daddy, I was playing chess. I filed first before he even left the state, ensuring jurisdiction stayed here, where the laws and the judge favored the spouse who wasn't behaving like a frat boy with stolen money. And the piece de resistance? The condo he thought he'd claim in Miami? Purchased with my credit card he secretly opened, thinking I'd never find out. I found out. I turned it into evidence. Every romantic night he spent there became a documented act of fraud. He called me 2 weeks later. I answered on the second ring because victory should never look eager. He sounded frantic, his voice tight, breathless. Why is there a freeze on my accounts? Why did I get served? Why is the condo in my name alone but purchased with your account? What the hell did you do? I smiled into the quiet of my kitchen. My lawyer will explain. You set me up? No, I said softly. You set yourself up. I just moved the spotlight. Silence. Then the realization hit him like a slow, suffocating tide. Everything he'd tried to steal was now documented as theft. Everything he'd purchased using my identity was now debt solely in his name. Everything he'd planned for Miami was now leverage in my hands. You can't do this, he whispered. I already did. The judge awarded me the house, the retirement account, spousal support, and, my favorite, reimbursement for every cent he spent on his 20-year-old babe. His condo was repossessed. His credit crashed. His girlfriend left when the money dried. And he moved back into his mother's basement while I stood outside the courthouse, feeling the first clean breath I'd taken in years. He texted me once more, weeks later. "Why didn't you fight for us?" I laughed. "A real one this time." "I did," I replied. "You just never realized what side I was fighting on." People imagine revenge as fire. But for me, it was water. Cool, controlled, precise. I didn't need to scream. I didn't need to break things. I just let the truth pull him under. Slow, inevitable, merciless. And when the tide receded, I was still standing. Calmer, sharper, free. Because the best revenge isn't destruction. It's demonstrating to yourself, most of all, that you were never the one who needed saving. He was, and he never knew how.